Hey there, comic book fans. I am back from the comic shop again this week. A pretty big week. Got 9 comics, because 3 of them were from 2 weeks ago. But first, we're going to show you the top of the printer museum books that I had on top of my printer that I was looking at all week. We've got Saber number 6, is this? Saber number 6. And Thor number 264. And this is, it's funny, when I pulled this out, I was like, who did that cover? My only guess was it was a Simonson cover because of that Loki face. But I had to look it up to make sure, and it is in fact Walter Simonson and Joe Sinnott. But really, only that Loki face right there looked like Simonson to me. That Thor really looked like a Sinnott Thor. And this one is Kent Williams doing the painting there. You may know him from some of his Marvel stuff in the 80s. I think he did Havoc and Wolverine, Meltdown. I think he painted. He did this watercolor style that was popular in the 80s. But I had those 2 on top of the printer all week, and I look at them as I walk by and replace those with 2 new. Let's see, the first comic I got this week is Howard Chaykin's Hey Kid Comics, number 5 of 6. Matter of fact, I think 6 is out next week. This is one of the damaged one of the ones that was damaged, and they had to resend. Matter of fact, they resent this one back damaged. You can see that corner up there is damaged. But it's like, I don't know if I'm going to get a good one in. You want a damaged one? I said, sure, I'll get a damaged one. If they get the good one in, I'll trade it out. But I figure, Hey Kids Comics number 5 isn't exactly going to be worth $1 million anyway. So who cares if it's damaged? So there's Howard Chaykin's latest about the history. Thinly disguised comic book history. All the names have been changed to protect the guilty. I've been enjoying that one. That's volume 3 also. He has 2 other series like that. And this is another one, Spawn 344. That's a few weeks old now. So again, this one was damaged by Diamond. They had to send in a new copy. Rory McConville with additional script by Todd McFarlane. Carlo Barberi. John David Ramos on color. And there's a big epic Spawn story going on. There's war between heaven and hell and lots of different spawns going on. There's a she-spawn or something. So it's been fun. Still only $2.99. That's why it's on my list. And then here's another late one because it was damaged. Issue 5. This one still looks, that one's still a little damaged anyway too. A little bit up in the corner. Jimmy Robinson's Junk Rabbit. I've liked this series. Sort of I guess you'd call it post-apocalyptic, but there really wasn't an apocalypse. It was just kind of bad things happened. And now there are certain people who live in cities, and the people who live outside the cities are the poor and the dome cities. And I didn't even realize till last issue that the people who lived outside the dome can't even breathe in the city because there's too much methane. They're gotten used to methane in their air. And the people in the dome cities are like us who breathe without all that methane. So, and the Junk Rabbit was some sort of mythological monster or something. Or is it real? This issue we'll find out if the Junk Rabbit has superpowers or not. Because so far it looked like may have superpowers or may not. But we'll see. Time Before Time, issue number 26. Rory McConville, same writer as Spawn. Declan Shalvey. Jeffo is the artist. They've had different artists on. Yeah, the artist is named Geoffo. Jeffo. Chris O'Halloran is the colorist. Atsami Alehau is the editor. Letterer. I can speak. This one's been good from beginning till now, and I think it's ending at issue 30. I'm not 100% positive, but I think they said that last issue. At least last issue they said they're ending it, and then someone online said it was ending at issue 30. But this is the time travel gangster story, I guess you'd call it, because there's these 2 gangster syndicates that run time travel, and they're in different times, and they're warring with each other, and these 2 other people kind of got caught up in it. But been very imaginative. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Then we got Rogue Sun, issue 15. I just noticed it's got a little massive verse down there. That's the Radiant Black universe. We'll see how Rogue Sun go. He's a teenage kid who inherited his father's superhero. I think it's a stone, the Sunstone. That's it. That gives him his powers. His father's alive, and a spirit in the sun. His estranged father, I should say, too, is alive in the Sunstone. And then we got to meet his grandfather too, who's still alive. And they're like spirits are alive in the Sunstone. Sort of like an Adam Warlock thing when they were still alive in the Soul Stone. Meanwhile, Rogue Sun, the teenage boy, his body was kind of taken over by another Rogue Sun who was alive in the Sunstone, and he wants his body back. So we'll see if that's going to happen. Then we've got another massive verse up there. No One. What do we got? Issue 5 here. Issue 5. This one's more of a police procedural. Was sort of a little. I think the hero / villain of this does have superpowers, but is really a police. I mean, look at all that. They're sitting in a room talking. This is there've been more of these lately. Police procedural comics. So it's been good. I've been enjoying this one too. We'll see what happens there. Oh, haven't seen an issue of this in a little while, I don't think. Ice Cream Man, issue number 36. There's Ice Cream Man in the boat with a skeleton and an orca. Didn't that orca in some aquarium somewhere just die? That ties in with that. So it looks like we got a fishing story this issue. Ice Cream Man is really sort of a horror anthology. Each issue is a done-in-one horror story. There was sort of an attempt to add an overall story with the Ice Cream Man and this cowboy, but that's kind of been abandoned, and they've just been doing these, which is just... I'm okay with the done-in-one story, so I don't need a big overarching story of any kind. I'm okay with each issue being its own horror story, especially if it's good. Then we've got Xeno. What is this, issue 3? I think this is going to be 4, 5, 6. I can't remember. Once again, it's an anthology story. Does it give us a Xeno? No, it doesn't give us a of what. I don't know how many. Like I said, I know it's a limited series, but some pretty good talent on it. Who do we got this time? Justin Jordan and Molly Mendoza. Don't know them. Written and illustrated by Dan McDade. Written and illustrated by David Hahn. Written by Michael Conrad and illustrated by Sean Curranru. Buster. Written and lettered by Andrew Carl, illustrated by Sophie Franz. I know that name, but I don't think I know any names right off the top of my. I mean, I can't think of any. Those names don't jump out at me. But the first 2 issues had more names I knew. But it looks good. I enjoy anthologies too. I like, you get 3 stories. I think was it 3 or 4? I just said. Let me see. Whoops. Oh. Nice splash page colors there with the orange and yellows. 1, 2, 5 stories. It's been like I liked the first 2 issues. I'm sure I'll like this one. And the last thing I got is a facsimile edition. Special 25th anniversary. Amazing Spider-Man 300. I was $7. Whew, double size. I just got this out of pure nostalgia, and it's not even nostalgia for comics I like. Though I did actually buy Spider-Man 300. I long since stopped buying Spider-Man because I think this came out in like 1988 or something. Yeah, 1980. They stole the copyright date up there, 1988. I'd stopped buying Spider-Man probably in like 83 or 84. But I guess I ended up, I sold it a few years ago, buying an issue of Amazing Spider-Man 300 or something. But I was like, you know what? I'm out of pure nostalgia. I want to see how the new printing looks on it. And so I grabbed it. I just like these facsimiles. And probably anything past 1988 I haven't really gotten, but we'll give that a look. Let me show you something. Look at this. There was last week's 200, and I did a second 200 because I want this one has got all the small heads and small complex interwoven heads. So I wanted a simple one too, because these originally started out being sort of simple drawings, and this one's not even that simple. But so I went with these two big heads and eyes, sort of mirroring each other, with lots of nice patterns in there. I like the way this one came out. I don't think I've done many sort of pink and green drawings that I can think of off the top of my head. It's got that scumbling shading in there to give it a texture. All over the face too. So I didn't do any like vertical type 200, so I might do one of those too. But I've already moved on to 201 and 202. But if I go back and revisit, if I come up with an image I might do another 200 at some time. We'll have to see, because usually I've been doing. Where's the? I don't have. There we go. There's the. I got the vertical logo on some of them and the horizontal logo on some of them. And I really wanted to do two. Really wanted to do 200 as one vertical and one horizontal, but I just didn't seem to find a horizontal, a vertical image that I like. So I went with this one. But maybe if I do find one I like, I'll make two. Because if I have two horizontal logos, I'm going to have two vertical ones. We'll see. I'll stick those in some other time as I'm going along making the other ones. Alrighty. There you go. Some artwork, some comics, and you guys have a good week out there.